What's going on, Cougar fans? Peter Borkowski here on the Cougar Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And this time I'm joined virtually by head coach of CUC men's basketball coach Rashawn Searles. Coach, welcome to the show. Excited to talk to you today.
Man, nice to be here, man. Good to talk over Zoom this time.
That's right. I'm back home for break, but you and your team have been hard at work, and it showed last night. You guys got a big win at CUC over Aurora University, and it stopped a little bit of a two-game skid for you guys. You got back in the win column in conference play, so I'm sure you and the rest of your coaching staff have to be feeling pretty good, along with the team, I should say, after last night's win.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew coming into the game that it was a pretty urgent game. We had to go get it, sitting at 1-3 in conference. We didn't want to put ourselves in a hole that would be too hard to dig ourselves up. So we wanted to get that win so we could start working our way back to 500 and then kind of go from there.
Right. And I know a point of emphasis when we talked last week was the defensive efforts of this team. And, you guys kind of struggled at points in that regard to the first couple of weeks, but you talked about it last week, how you guys were going to kind of change things up a little bit, approach it a little differently in last night's game. And I mean, again, you guys came away with the win. You held them under 80 points. So did you and the rest of your coaching staff see what you needed to see out of this team defensively last night? Did you kind of see those changes come to fruition?
Yeah, I thought we were a lot better defensively. Aurora is a really good team, so
Mhm.
they made us have the players and personnel to be able to make tough shots. But defensively, we saw what we needed to see, and I'm proud of the guys for responding in the way that they did. I think that the first half and even early in the second half, the big issue was getting the offense going, and that's because pretty much the last 7, 8 days, we work basically all defense. So,
Mhm.
we just got to get that healthy balance and go from there.
Right. And helping the offense along last night was, of course, Jordan Matthews had a fantastic game, dropped a 30 piece on Aurora. And, Matthews had a slower couple games before that, but I think it just shows the resilience of how great a player he is, that despite some, not amazing starts, not amazing games before the Aurora game, he's still able to come in against a tough opponent and drop 30 points on them. So I'm sure that was really reassuring for you and the rest of your staff to see that out of Jordan Matthews.
No, absolutely. We knew he would get back on track and fairly quickly. I think it was just a matter of just going through that rut. Every good player has to go through it, especially when you're one of the top guys on the scouting report, game in, game out. And I think he just kind of just put his foot down, kept going, and once he finally started to get a rhythm, he was back on to regular Jordan Matthews time. So, I'm happy to see him going. I thought that his making really carried the offense. And when he got going, everyone else started really going as well. Justin Greenlee really, in
Mhm.
that first half really carried us as well. And I thought, Joel Watts defensively really got us going as well. So,
Mhm.
shout out to those guys.
Definitely. And, going back to Matthews really quick, something that I think we've kind of noticed about him this year is he seems to be taking a little bit more three-pointers. Now, he's always been a well-rounded scorer, and he's always been able to score the three. But this year in particular, I mean, he went 8 for 10 last night, scored 8 of you guys, 11 total threes. That's a crazy stat for any player to get. Is that something you guys have noticed with him as well? Is he kind of starting to implement that in his bag a little bit more, or is it just kind of the shots are falling his way and he's capitalizing on them?
No, I think he's a very good shooter for one. So once he gets one, you want him to keep shooting those. But that's been a big emphasis coming into the year for us that we wanted to shoot the three and we
Mm.
wanted to space the floor. And I think just being a product of the offense, he's getting easier shots. We got the guys that can kind of, get in the middle of the paint, beat their defenders, make those sprays. And then he's always been crafty enough as a player to create his own shots. So when you got that combination, it just, the shots can fall his way.
Right. Well, Coach, you got another big challenge tomorrow night. The Battle of the Concordias makes its way to CUC, CU Dub coming to River Forest. And, it's another tough opponent that, again, two Concordia is always going to be a good game. So how do you guys build off of last night? Like you said, you got back in the win column in conference play. What needs to happen tomorrow night based on what you saw last night to keep going in the right direction, hopefully pick up another big win in NAC play?
We just got to stay hungry, understand what's at stake right now. We got to get back to 500. And we know that Concordia, Wisconsin's in the same predicament, sitting at 2-3, that they
Mm,
want this win just as bad. So,
right.
it's a rivalry game, knowing that they're coming in. They have a lot of size. We want to make sure that we continue to be physical. We continue to apply pressure and just basically play not only for, this conference win, but also for a little bragging rights with the Concordia Chicago alum. So,
Right.
yeah.
Definitely. Well, CUC men's basketball back at it tomorrow night, taking on Concordia, Wisconsin at CUC's. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. Coverage can be found on our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Searles, good luck tomorrow night, as well as the rest of the play this week. I'm looking forward to talking to you again next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off the Cougar Sports Network and wanting to say, as always, go
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
On the campus of beautiful Concordia University, Chicago, for today's non-conference basketball game against the visiting North Central Cardinals and the Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Carter Gledhill with you on the Cougar Sports Network, joined by Kayla McLeod as the Cougars get ready for their final game before the Christmas season. And Kayla, coming off of a tough loss against Concordia, Wisconsin, this is a Cougars team that's hungry to get back into the win column, sitting 2-4 in the NAC.
Absolutely. A little non-conference action is exactly what the Cougars need right now, coming off a 1-1 in-conference week just before going into the break. So a little non-conference action is good for the Cougars.
Collicott wins the tip for the Cougars. The starters for CUC this evening: Jordan Matthews, Justin Greenlee, Emmanuel Wilson, Jacob Collicott, and Brett Hatton. As the leading scorer, Jordan Matthews works his way to the left side of the paint. Gives it up to Greenlee with some space. Hatton in the corner. Airballed, but called a long pass to Emmanuel Wilson for the first bucket.
Cougars needing to get into the paint for some rebounds this game. They've been struggling with the offensive board, so having Emmanuel Wilson in the paint ready to go proves exactly what they need to be doing right now. Wilson
averaging 6 boards per game, using his tall frame and his athletic ability. This is a scrappy CUC team, as a turnaround shot in the paint's no good for Ken Thomas and the Cardinals. Good pass from Greenlee, gets picked off by Smolt.
Cougars really been giving up a lot of turnovers so far this season, as we see there.
Foul is called on the ground. Brent Hatton picks up the first foul. Swiping the arm of Ken Thomas in the paint.
Cougars averaging 15.3 turnovers per game, and it's been a big kicker for them.
And you think about that, too, with the turnovers and the fact that they're the second worst defense in the conference. The Cougars trying to get some better defensive production, getting that scoring margin a little bit more in their favor, despite being the top offense in the NAC. Hatton in the work, using the left hand, misses his first try, kicks it out. Wilson along 3. Back iron, strong rebound by Thomas.
Head coach of the Cougars, Rashawn Searles, mentioned earlier last week that they really needed to lock down on defense, and the Cougars have been playing a fast-paced defense, as you can see here, but sometimes the mismatch in the paint is going to prove to be the bane of their existence this week.
Ethan Hellwig with the bucket for North Central, the 6'5 guard from Aurora, Illinois. Second leading scorer on the team, just under 12 points a game. Going to be a key factor for the Cardinals in this game. There's a lot to defend out there for CUC. 4 starters in double-digit scoring on the season. Another long range from Wilson. No good. Rebound by Hellwig. Cardinals have the numbers. Decide to pull it back, and taking it in is Smolt. Thomas dumps it in to Hellwig. Way to collect himself inside.
Cougars really needing to lock down and close off the paint. They gave up a lot of points in the paint on Wednesday against CU Dub, and already doing so again here today as Brent Hatton pulls up for 3.
Rebound by Collicott. Cougars trying to get their way inside, have stuck around the perimeter. Wilson loses it, and another turnover for the Cougars. And you go back to your point about the points in the paint. In that game against Concordia, Wisconsin, the Falcons had 46 points in the paint to the Cougars' 30. Again, this is a team where CUC has a lot of shooters. They have speed. It's the size that really is what they need to make up for, and that's why they rely on the offensive board and the rebounding.
Absolutely. As you've seen so far today, Brent Hatton, really the big man battling inside the paint, but having one guy being able to put up that fight isn't always going to be enough, as we see there.
Hatton taking a shoulder to the jaw, shaken up on the play. Big bad Ken Thomas, 6'5", 240 senior from Harper Woods, Michigan. Getting his first bucket of the game. Cardinals on a 6-0 scoring run over the last minute and a half. Cougars 0 for 4 from deep so far to start the game. Slower start for CUC. Another long ball. Matthews misses. Rebound by Greenlee. Fadeaway off the top of the backboard. Corralled by Gadsden.
A big changer this season for the Cougars has been the production from Justin Greenlee. He's been scoring big numbers this year that he hasn't been scoring lately. He's had 3 20-point games this season, and he's actually leading the team in multiple categories.
We talk about a guy like Greenlee averaging double-digit points for the first time in his career in his junior year last year with only 7 points a game across 12 as the Cardinals hit another big three, Ethan Hellwig, and forcing a timeout by Rashawn Searles. And you just look at this start that the Cardinals are having, 9-0 scoring run over 2.5 minutes.
Absolutely. Hellwig has been putting in the work both in the paint and, as we saw right there, outside of it. Cougars really needing to focus in on their defense. We're seeing some subs coming in after the timeout here, and some of those subs looks like number 55, Joel Watts, who's been a defensive force for the Cougars, hoping that he can pick up some of those steals as he's leading the team with 20 steals this season, just being able to get some of that defensive spark for him.
Joel Watts as well as number 33, Sean Beckman, the transfer from Harper College, checking into the game for the Cougars. CUC 0 for their last 6 shot attempts, and again 0 for 5 from deep. We've seen a couple players pull up from behind the arc and haven't been able to convert. Collie Kahn on the left wing. Bishop Green in as well for the Cougars, using the right hand. Tough finish inside.
You know, you mentioned the Cougars struggling from behind the three-point line so far today. A big factor in that is Jordan Matthews. You know, he shot 8 for 10 from the three on Monday against Aurora, but only 1 for 6 from the three on Wednesday against CU Dub. So a big factor here is going to be how Jordan Matthews is able to find his groove again from behind the line.
Open look from Smolt, misses, rebound by Bishop Green. Works his way back to the middle. CUC still trying to find their way consistently inside. Trailing 9-4. Hatton, a three, no good. Rebound by Gaston. Takes it to the foul line. Wiggles his way around.
As you can see, there's a little bit of a mismatch in the paint already. The Cardinals looking to capitalize on it, but instead they find that open look outside because of that mismatch and the miscommunication there from the Cougars.
Gaston, who's only shooting 15% on the season from behind the three-point arc, nails one as the Cardinals continue on their dominant run to open up this game. Missed three-pointer from Watt, and a good putback. But Bishop Green again, already 4 points off the bench. A take inside and a charge is called. Brent Hatton taking the tumble. Now the referee coming in, and a call is reversed. It'll be a block instead.
So it looks like they're going to reverse that call. I believe Brent Hatton was inside the arc there. Taking charges is something the Cougars have been really adamant on this season. We've seen it all week this week as well as all season. They've been attempting to take these charges, and they've been decently successful at it. It's just an unfortunate placement for Brent Hatton here.
Especially with the Cardinals and the way that they've been either in transition going straight for the basket or they've been pulling it back out. Brent Hatton has already tried to stand tall a few times. The foul is going to be changed from called on Brent Hatton to number 33, Sean Beckman. So Beckman will pick up his first foul. Officials for tonight's match, Kenneth Moreland, John Washoe, and William West. And they're going to change it back one more time to Brent Hatton.
Having a pack of Cougars congesting up the paint a little bit makes it a little bit tricky to figure that out, but eventually all was sorted out.
So Ian Ravagni will have to come back to the scores table for the first free throw. Nick Smolt, a senior from Plainfield, Illinois, taking it for the Cardinals. Smolt on the season, averaging just over 8 points a game. Coming on to the court for the Cardinals is Brian Johnson as well. North Central trying to head into the holiday season with a win after a 4-game losing skid that they're currently riding after a 73-65 loss against Hope College. And the substitution is made Terrence Moncrief.
You mentioned the Cardinals currently sitting on a 4-game skid here. They've had some tough opponents in their last 4 games. They played the previously ranked Carthage College sitting at 22 in Division III, as well as Wisconsin Platteville ranked 24th. So not some easy opponents for them, as well as just overall tough competition in the CCIW.
Tough conference, and you also have Elmhurst in there that you're going to have to play down the stretch as well. This is a competitive NAC conference as well. The Cougars, a couple years back, making a run to the semifinals for the conference tournament. Now sit 10th in the conference at 2-4. A lot of returners on this team for CUC. And you would have to think that at some point they'll find a way to turn things around.
Absolutely. I mean, competition is not something the Cougars shy away from. They've already played 2 other CCIW teams this season.
Just right now, Cougars are all sorts of lost on the offensive side of the court. Scrap fighting for the ball. Bishop Green poking it away. Collicott loses it out of his hip pocket.
Cougars
now CUC pulling back.
Cougars needing to slow things down right now. Get control of the game a little bit. Having the ball batting around like that is the last thing you want to be doing.
Watts over to the corner. Ravagny with the last touch, and right now CUC draining the shot clock down to 8. Collicott bunny hop, gets a man to miss, turnaround, no good. Tough shot, but better defense from the Cardinals. And some frustration already settling in for the Cougars, not able to start off the game well. 3 of 15 from the field.
Ken Thomas making Sean Beckman work. Beckman knows that the Cardinals have been hot from inside the paint, so Beckman doing everything he can to hold him back, but still right there, a perfect example, not good enough. If the defense is not going to set in, paint is going to kill the Cougars today.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Pump fake. Gaston, a nice mid-range jumper. He has 5. Cougars trying to get their offense going. Bishop Green will take it, kick it out to Watts. Leaves it short, chases it down, and gives it into Hellwig. Pump fake, mid-range jumper left short. Again, the Cardinals have been pushing well in transition. CUC hasn't been getting back very well on defense. And now a foul is going to be called on Brian Johnson. 4 Cougars will be entering the game. Jordan Matthews, Darian Williams, Aaron Brown, and Justin Greenlee. Replacing Collicott, Bishop Green, Watts, and Beckman. Sean Searles just trying to find a combination out there that's going to work for the Cougars.
As we've seen all season, one thing the Cougars can do really well is score, and tonight has not been the case. So needing to get some offense going, see if we can get the defense to fall after that. But right now, points matter.
0 for 8 from deep. 0 for 9 after the last shot attempt from Williams.
For a team like the Cougars, who are first in the NAC in points per game at 85.7, it's interesting to see them fall so low to a team like North Central, who's averaging significantly less points per game at 65.1. Obviously just not in the correct rhythm right now.
Head coach for the Cardinals, Vince Kamick, putting together a nice scouting report against the Cougars, have made this high-powering offense absent so far to start this game. Shot clock down. Last second shot off from Johnson. Another putback from Hellwig, no good. Greenlee bringing it up for the Cougars, near side. Kicks it out. Matthews had a look. Changes his course. Three-pointer, Brown, back iron.
Brown, a decently new face for the Cougars, a freshman coming in today, hasn't seen much playing time, but as we've seen already today, he's putting in the work on defense, not afraid to take the shot on offense, and I think that might just be the refreshing look that the Cougars need right now.
Only Brown's 4th appearance for the Cougars on the season, averaging 9 minutes a game. Nice floating jumper from Hellwig, who's got 9. Hellwig is the only Cardinal out on the court right now that has points to his name. All the Cougars out there don't have any points either. Jordan Matthews gets fouled and will head to the free throw line. The leading scorer for the Cougars, 16 points per game. Heads to the line for a pair of free throws. Matthews making his 11th appearance on the season for the Cougars. 39 points shy of reaching the 1,000 point of his milestone in his career at CUC. Joined the Cougars in the 2020-2021 season where he came out of nowhere, a transfer from Loras College, 17.5 points in his first season with the Cougars. And a late sub for CUC. Carter Langendorf replacing Sean Beckman.
Seems like the rotation that Coach Searles has going right now is keeping a big man on the floor at all times, rotating. As you can see, they're getting put to work inside the paint, needing to keep at least one of them out there on the floor to battle, but making sure that you're keeping the others rested to be able to sub in when needed.
CUC dialing up the defensive pressure. Jumper from Thomas, no good. CUC in transition. Greenlee, good move. He gets fouled on the way up. That's the kind of explosiveness that the Cougars need to see a little bit more of already in this game. Justin Greenlee taking it all the way from the other side of the court.
Absolutely. Greenlee has been not only explosive in his point scoring this year, but he's just been a true point guard this year. He's seen the floor. He is leading the team in assists, and he's not afraid to go coast to coast.
Makes the first, and if you look at the last 3 games for Justin Greenlee, he had 20 against Concordia, Wisconsin on the 20th, and had a season high of 29 against Edgewood College back on the 9th. A good rebound inside, but can't put it back, was Aaron Brown. Greenlee going 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. Cougars trail by 8, 8:41 remaining in the half. Take inside all the way. Erikus Gurkis. Greenlee backing down inside the paint. Misses. Rebound Thomas. CUC shooting less than 15% from the field in this game. The Cardinals shooting 42%, shooting 33% from downtown.
Cardinals are also winning the battle of the boards. They're out-rebounding the Cougars 16-13 and getting those second chance opportunities.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Gaston, bunny hop, able to get it before the buzzer. And another timeout taken by Rashawn Searles. Second taken by the Cougars in this half. The largest lead of the game for the Cardinals of 12 points. 21-9 the score inside a Geisman Gymnasium. Again, we're glad you're joining us on the Cougar Sports Network. Carter Gledhill with you. Kayla McLeod by my side. And just looking ahead for the Cougars in terms of the next 5 games they have, all conference games: Lakeland University, Benedictine, Milwaukee School of Engineering, St. Norbert College, and Illinois Institute of Technology. 3 of those games will be at home for CUC. They have a nice break coming up after this game, though, not playing against Lakeland until January 3rd. Not the way you want to start off this game, though, Kayla. CUC really trying to find some ways to get more production inside, as you've mentioned.
Absolutely. I mean, Cougars, typically a really good shooting team, but every now and then you're going to have your off days, as we're seeing here today. Some of those three-point shots that normally a lot of these Cougars hit, just not falling, but you've got to find other ways to create that production.
Last bucket for the Cougars was William Bishop Green's layup at the 14:22 mark. Wilson looking inside for Langendorf. Collicott all alone gets fouled. And that's the kind of rotations that when CUC we've seen so far in this game, they've been able to get good looks out of those because they're moving the ball. They're not stagnant and waiting outside for a three-pointer, sending Jacob Collicott to the free throw line.
Absolutely. You said it, ball movement. The more that the Cougars can move the ball, swing the ball, catch the defense off guard, you've got enough people that can take those mid-range jumpers, just as Collicott was looking there, and you're going to either get fouled or you're going to make the shot. So either way, it's a win-win situation. You just got to keep the ball moving.
Collicott averaging 11 points this year. 10th start of the season for the junior from Lafayette, Indiana. CUC dropping into a zone, 1-3-1. Another look for the Cougars, just trying to stall the Cardinals just a little bit.
You can see you've got Justin Greenlee battling inside the paint.
And a good look inside from Gaston. And the Cougars lose it in transition. Another take inside Gaston. Collicott all the way up trying to block it off the backboard. Takes a tumble after.
Like I said earlier, those turnovers are really going to hurt the Cougars if they can't control it, as Wilson loses the ball there once again, but they have to control the ball and value their possessions.
Greenlee wanted Wilson baseline. Turnaround himself, ending the scoring drought of 7.5 minutes. The first field goal for the Cougars in their last 9 attempts. 10-point deficit for CUC. A turnover by the Cardinals. Manuel Wilson in transition gets fouled.
Taking advantage of a non-set Cardinal defense is exactly what the move was there. Getting Emmanuel Wilson the fast break look and eventually ending him up at the line.
Foul called on Terrence Moncrief. His second, the team's 5th. Neither team has really been turning the ball over, though, in this game. Only 2 turnovers for the Cardinals, 3 for the Cougars. But the one thing that is going right for the Cougars in this game so far, they're 6 of 7 from the free throw line right now. They're not finding their way inside successfully from the field, but staying with it with the free throws, able to hang around with the Cardinals here in a first half that has not been reflective of what the Cougars have done offensively this season. Collicott gets the rebound, turnaround, misses. The 7th offensive board for the Cougars in this game. CUC still sticking with the zone. Turnover by Smolt. Matthews gives it right back to the Cardinals. Pass errant for Langendorf.
You mentioned the one thing going right for the Cougars so far is their percentage from the free throw line. Cougars been decent all season, shooting 74% on the season. Not too bad, something that you can tell that they take a lot of pride in and making sure that they're getting their points when they can.
North Central taking their time. Schmolt, a three. Air ball. Goes out of bounds. Malloy wasn't able to keep it in. Leading scorer in this game right now, Ethan Hellwig of North Central with 9 points, an efficient 4 for 6 shooting performance. Matthews had some room. Tough man-to-man defense from North Central. Wilson a three. Back iron, another offensive board for the Cougars. Good take inside from Wilson and the tip in from Langendorf.
Some of those shots just really not falling for the Cougars today. That's a great look from Emmanuel Wilson, something that he's hit all season, but the grit to continue on with that play and get the rebound and tip in is exactly what they need to be doing.
Thomas had 3 Cougars around him, and an and one from Emmanuel Wilson. Big bucket for the Cougars. Trying to turn the momentum over to their side, forcing a timeout from Vince Kamick of the Cardinals. Big play there for the Cougars as CUC has sparked a 7-0 scoring run over the last 2 minutes. We'll take a quick break inside of Geisman. 23-18 your score. North Central up over the Cougars.
What's up, everybody? We appreciate you tuning into today's game.
To stay up to date on all things CUC men's basketball, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC_Chicago_MBB.
We'll see you on campus soon. Hey, Mom.
On the Cougar Sports Network, CUC, 7-0 scoring run over the last 2 minutes. Last bucket, an and one from Emmanuel Wilson. His second field goal of the game. We've seen the Cougars really turn around their course of action in these last few minutes, and it's led to a little bit more realistic basketball for these Cougars to fit their game scheme.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cougars needed to find a momentum shift. They're shooting 0 for 11 from the three-point line and figuring things out otherwise, forcing some more turnovers against the Cardinals, and it's working in their favor.
The Cougars have been dominating the offensive board battle right now. 10 offensive rebounds for CUC, only 4 for North Central. Head coach Vince Kamick not happy on the sidelines with his team. Understandably so. You have a team up at one point. You got them by 12. They only have single digits, and you're letting them stick around with all these opportunities with offensive rebounds. Been fortunate the Cougars haven't been able to turn that into more points.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cougars being able to find that spark on both the offensive end and the defensive end to kind of hold it as a coach, that's one of the most frustrating things to see.
Foul called on Carter Langendorf, his first, team third for the Cougars. Ken Thomas makes the first free throw as Tyler Swerchek replaces number 22, Sean Malloy. Brian Johnson in to replace Thomas. Watts bringing it up for the Cougars. A lot more off-ball movement for CUC in this later portion of the first half as a block is called on Gaston.
Absolutely. The Cougars seeing a 4-out, 1-in movement right now. You're seeing right now for the Cougars, Langendorf battling in the paint while the other 4 guards are moving on the outside, and it's allowing the Cougars to open up some space and find the right routes that they need to be making.
Watts with the first bucket on the and one, a transfer from Joliet Junior College, a junior from Homewood, Illinois. His 11th game off the bench for CUC. Gets his first points of the evening. CUC still sticking with the zone. It's helped broken up this Cardinals offense, which at the beginning was getting settled in the three-point game, getting more comfortable with open looks, now applying the pressure to the Cardinals, and we've seen more turnovers, and this Cardinals offense not be as smooth and free-flowing as we saw in the opening 10 minutes of this half.
Absolutely. I mean, this switching to this zone for the Cougars, it's allowed the Cardinals to have to break up what they've been doing. The Cougars been congesting the paint. They've been making the Cardinals move off ball, which they weren't doing in the beginning, but it was working for them because there was so much open space for them to play the ISO game. So Cougars doing a really good job playing in that zone.
Three-pointer no good. CUC still looking for their first long ball, 0 for 13. Similar to how North Central ended their game against Hope College. Neither team, Hope or North Central, shot the ball very well from behind the arc in the second half. The Cardinals went 1 for 10 from behind the three-point arc against Hope College, as Hope went 0 for 11 in the second half. And part of the reason right now what we're seeing from the Cardinals as well, three-pointers, 2 for 7 in the first half, but they haven't really had to rely on it as much, but they'll take it when it comes. Ethan Hellwig reaching double digits. 12 points for number 0 in Scarlet.
From the beginning of the game today, Hellwig has let the Cougars know that he's going to be a problem for them, shooting 5 for 7 from the field, as well as 2 for 3 from behind the three-point line.
Matthews couldn't get the putback. In transition again, the Cardinals. Another 3, rimmed in and out. Offensive board for North Central. Another 3 from Hellwig. Back-to-back trips for him. Another timeout for the Cougars. After being without a bucket for 3.5 minutes, North Central. Consecutive three-pointers from Ethan Hellwig. He has 15. And a timeout taken by the Cougars with 2:04 remaining in the first half. Kayla just shows right now the swing that we've seen in this first half. And again, CUC going on a nice scoring run of 7 points only a few minutes ago, but Cardinals snatching it right back up by 11.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cougars, beginning of the game, we said it, they were giving up too many points in the paint. The Cougars adjusted their defense to congest the paint a little bit, and the Cardinals adjusted, and they're getting those shots off from the outside as back-to-back threes from Hellwig is going to let the Cougars know that you can't get complacent in one set style of defense. You're going to have to play defense against us inside and outside if you want to shut us down.
Leading scorer right now for the Cougars is Emmanuel Wilson with 5 points. Shooting 2 for 7 from the field. He also has a pair of rebounds. But the other thing, too, we're seeing right now, if you look at the box score, not many high-numbered minutes right now for the Cougars. Jacob Collicott's leading the CUC squad right now with 15 minutes. It just shows that head coach John Searles trying to find a combination that works, getting players in and out off the bench.
Absolutely, and you see a few more subs coming in right now for the Cougars. One of them for the first time today, number 22, Kieran Heller. So, again, Coach Searles just trying to figure out what's going to be the groove for tonight.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. North Central dropping into a zone for the first time in this game. Heller, three-pointer off the bench. No.
We've seen previously throughout the season that when Coach Searles wants a quick three-pointer. Kieran Heller's the guy to go to, so not surprising that was the shot that was thrown up there.
Good effort from Drew Gaston, taking it the first time, then getting his own rebound. Gets foul called from Justin Greenlee. 15 foul for the Cougars. Offensive rebound from Malloy, or excuse me, Johnson. Then North Central driving and then kicking back out, and that's what you'll get, a good look. North Central finding a way to get inside on CUC when nothing's there, kicking it back out. And then another strong take from North Central's Ethan Hellwig.
Hellwig heading to the line, a good free throw shooter for the Cardinals, shooting a little over 86% on the year. Proving that as he makes his first today.
The first time that Hellwig's been in double digits since his season-high 20-point performance against ranked Carthage College on December 6th. And he chases down the missed free throw. Well, both teams getting chances on the back end of trips to the free throw line to have a new possession for themselves. Long two, no good. .66 seconds remaining in the first half. CUC still trailing by 12, tied for the largest deficit of the game.
Cardinals still in that zone defense, doing their best to break things up, almost getting a piece on that there as Gaston made the big jump, tipped the ball out of bounds but couldn't keep control of it.
Watts tried to force it inside, taken away by Gaston. Cardinals in transition. Quick shot attempt inside and one. Instead, they're calling a charge.
William Bishop Green in the right place at the right time to position himself to get that charge call. A really good call as the alternative was giving up the basket there. But again, it's something that the Cougars have been working on a lot. We've seen a lot of charge attempts and charge calls being made for the Cougars, so not surprising to see that there.
Interesting, again, this confusion right now between the referees. It's the second time we've seen a Cougar close to the arc inside. One says a charge, one says block, and Vince Kamick was telling the referee, hey, that's not your call. And then it was the line judge down on the baseline that made the call after. CUC with the ball, 5 seconds separating shot clock and game clock. Hatton looking for somewhere to go. Bishop Green pulled up at the free throw line. Missed three-pointer from Beckman. Shot clock off. Smolt over to Hellwig. Pump fake three. Second chance. Rattles in and out. A tip back, no good. How about one more and a foul is called? Great effort from the Cardinals. 3 opportunities for them to put it in. As Brian Johnson will head to the free throw line.
That's the intensity and grit that you want to see out of a team. Not giving up till the buzzer is off. 3 opportunities in less than 10 seconds as they brought that ball up quick, gets a shot off quick, and two back-to-back opportunities at the rim. Never giving up until you hear that buzzer. That's great grit right there.
So they'll put 0.5 of a second on the game clock. But just listen to this trend, too, as well. The Cardinals are on a 7-0 scoring run over the last 2 minutes and 42 seconds, but are 1 of 7 from the field.
Very interesting. I mean, they're getting their work in at the free throw line. Cougars, trying to break things up a little bit, but fortunately, the Cardinals a good free throw shooting team.
And both teams really utilizing the free throw line to add on some extra points. That's what it's there for in a low-scoring first half. Last check in heave. Almost had a little bit of room there for Joel Watts.
Looked on target from here, just needed a little more oomph to get there.
A wild first half inside of Geisman. Low scoring, but a ton to talk about on the other side of the halftime break. North Central leading CUC 34-20. Second half coming to you on the other side of the break on the Cougar Sports Network.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
Yo, Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the court.
To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank button. This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar basketball moments like the ones you're watching now.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Go Cougs!
I'm a CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Hey Cougar fans, thanks for tuning in to today's game.
For more information on the men's basketball program, head to CUCougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
Go Cougs!
Let's roll, Cougs!
Hi, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane. So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall. So the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there. Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
Cougar fans, thanks for tuning into today's game.
For more information on the men's basketball program, head to CUCougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game.
Go Cougs, let's go baby! Roger! Interested in finding out more about Concordia Chicago? Head to cuchicago.edu for information on our university.
We appreciate you tuning into today's game and hope to see you at CUC very soon.
Go Cougs!
Welcome back inside of Geisman Gymnasium. Carter Gledhill, Kayla McLeod with you on the Cougar Sports Network. A low-scoring first half. North Central up 14 over CUC. It was led by Ethan Hellwig with 16 points, shooting 60% from the field. An impressive performance so far from number 0 in red, but CUC really hasn't had one player stand out in an abysmal 6 for 32 shooting in the first half with 0 for 16 from deep.
Yeah, this is the lowest scoring first half for the Cougars all season. Previously, the lowest scoring was 30 points, and we're at a 10-point lower than that.
A foul called on Carter Langendorf to start the second half. Second personal foul for Langendorf. Sean Searles and the CUC bench did not like that call. Drew Gaston at the line. 7 points so far in the game. First trip to the free throw line. And again, looking at the end of that first half, Cardinals ending the half on a 9-0 scoring run in the last 2 minutes and 44 seconds. Going 1 for 7 from the field. On the other side, though, CUC ending the half on a 3-minute and 38-second scoring drought. And for them, it's been a struggle to get anything going in the mid-range long game shooting. And it was an Emmanuel Wilson layup that was the last field goal for CUC. Foul is called. Brent Hatton trying to bully his way inside.
Hatton hasn't had many trips to the free throw line so far this season. He's shooting 3 of 7, so significantly less amount of times than some of his fellow teammates.
First point for Brent Hatton in this game. Foul was called on Ethan Hellwig, his first. CUC shooting 19% in this game. North Central 38%. Both teams shooting above 75% from the free throw line. Turnover battle even at 5. But it was the offensive rebounds for CUC in that middle part of the first half that kept them in close striking distance of North Central. The Cardinals able to make its way back with 10 by the end. Jump ball possession favoring CUC.
A little bit of a sloppy back and forth there between both teams. No one really being able to control the ball, just kind of batting it around a little bit, resulting in that jump ball call.
Langendorf over to Matthews. Leading scorer for CUC with only 2 points. Another missed three-pointer for CUC. Matthews 0 for 3 today in that category.
Not something you see from him often.
It's just a very uncharacteristic game for CUC. Team shooting 38% from deep. And now another first-time substitution in this game. Number 34, Elijah White, the sophomore from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, replacing Langendorf. White 6'5". Tallest player out there for CUC. Good defense from Watts. Cardinals able to get it back. A gift for a three-point attempt from Hellwig as Collicott pulls it back. Watts with nobody in front of him in the layup.
Watts making really good use of his speed there, getting out ahead of the defenders trailing him and able to finish with poise at the rim.
Foul is called on Joel Watts. The other thing that's interesting right now about this game is CUC has 6 fast break points. The Cardinals with 0. We've seen it very often where North Central has numbers, decides to drive in, and then will look for the three-pointer or just pull it out right away. But CUC has had more opportunities in that second part of the first half to really push tempo, and that's what we really saw that kick-started the offense and got CUC back in this game.
Absolutely. I think North Central's been doing a good job of drawing out the Cougar defense. As you see, Joel Watts leading the team in steals as he's doing there and going once again with that fast break. Exactly what you're talking about. Quick baskets is what their game is, but the Cardinals really trying to draw the defense and wear him out a little bit.
Another pickpocket for Watts. Back-to-back field goals for CUC. And a turnover from Collicott.
Cougars switched back into that man defense that they were playing at the first half of the first half, as we saw them sit back into a zone towards the later end.
Foul called on Joel Watts. Picks up his second foul. Ryan Johnson in to replace Ken Thomas. 3 turnovers for the Cardinals in the last 2 minutes. CUC's defense has been what kept them in this game. Watts falls to the ground on a screen. Hellwig was able to get baseline and take it himself. Another strong take from Hellwig.
Hellwig having himself a game, bumping him up to 18 points. His season high is 20, so not far off.
Missed three-pointer from Elijah White, his first shot attempt in the game. A steal from Jordan Matthews. Collicott out to Watts. Step back. Fade away. Rebound by Hellwig.
With Elijah White taking a three that possession earlier, that makes only 4 Cougars of the 14 that have stepped on the floor not taking a three-point shot. Still looking for their first made three-pointer of the game, but only 4 of the 14 haven't even attempted.
Full timeout taken by the Cardinals. They lead the Cougars by 12 with 16:47 left in the game.
What's up, everybody? We appreciate you tuning into today's game.
To stay up to date on all things CUC men's basketball, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC_Chicago_MBB.
We'll see you on campus soon. Hey, Mom.
North Central with the ball after the timeout. And a smart timeout taken by Vince Kamick, just trying to get his team back in sync. 4 turnovers in the last 3 minutes for North Central. Not the same start that they had in the first half as they do in the second. It's been all Hellwig today for the Cardinals as he crashes into the wall. 20 points for number 0. Darian Williams checked in during the timeout. Running baseline, Collicott backing his way inside. First bucket from the field for Collicott in this game.
Collicott putting a lot of work in for the Cougars. He's played 19 minutes, the most for this Cougar squad.
And a huge block from Collicott in the paint. He got up, was swatted away as the Cougars turn it over only a few seconds after. But in a game right now where it seems like nobody can get anything going for the Cougars. Big plays on defense like we just saw from Collicott, and we've seen it a few times already in this half from Joel Watts. That's what's going to spark the offense and what head coach Rashawn Searles hopes happens.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been taking charges, or at least attempting to, and then playing that tough defense, getting hands in the face and getting those steals, and it ends up resulting in fast break layups.
Foul called on Brian Johnson. Johnson's third. Williams bringing it up for the Cougars. White, open look at the top of the key. He hits it. And he gets teed up right after.
The excitement is there for sure, getting the team's first 3 of the day, but the energy is just an unfortunate situation here, and it's a rookie mistake, something like that. Elijah White's a sophomore here, so still figuring things out, but something that you just can't have happen right now.
Only his third made three-pointer of the season. The first three-pointer for the Cougars coming at the 15:26 mark in the second half. But again, talk about just wiping away any momentum you might have building off of a previous play. The technical foul called on Elijah White, taunting number 32, Brian Johnson.
Absolutely, you said it. Taking away that momentum. It's something that was a huge shift for the Cougars. The first made three of the day, going 1 of 19 for the Cougars. You need to keep that on your side. Being able to bounce back here, get some defensive energy back is going to be key for the Cougars.
Cougar bench starting to talk a little bit more, and a good steal by Watts. No foul called, misses it. He gets it back. Misses the second time. Ball still bouncing around. Hellwig able to pull it around with 3 white jerseys around, and it's deflected off of his hand. Wild sequence of events.
Again, that defensive energy. Watts has been picking pockets all day. He's doing everything he can to make sure that he's doing his part for the team, and he's doing it.
The third steal for Watts. White handoff to Collicott. Collicott with 4. Spin around. Almost another steal by the Cougars. Cardinals in transition. Losing it out of bounds was Terrence Moncrief. And it just seemed a little bit uncomfortable from Moncrief and the Cardinals in transition. Again, no points in the fast break in this game.
Absolutely, that's not something we've seen them do a lot in that fast break motion. They typically kind of slow things down, pull it out, reset, and draw the Cougar defense, but those fast breaks definitely seem a little bit unknown for them.
So White, Watts, and Williams all come out for the Cougars. 5 out on the court right now for CUC: Emmanuel Wilson, Brent Hatton, Justin Greenlee, Jacob Collicott, and Jordan Matthews.
Cougars seeming to start to double team Hellwig. He had the ball in the corner there, and Cougars not letting him score anymore today.
22 of 42 points for the Cardinals have come from number 0 in red.
An athletic rebound there from Collicott, got up way above everybody else.
Reverse, oh, and it just backed away. It looks like it hit a little hump on the brick, and it just backed its way out as Jordan Matthews able to get the steal. 2-on-1 opportunity. Collicott gets bodied with the side check from Brian Johnson.
They're going to call that one on the ground, saying he wasn't in motion for the shot. But again, a great sequence of defense and turning that transition up for the Cougars.
9 steals in the game for CUC. They've had 6 steals in this half. As Jacob Collicott is subbed out for William Bishop Green. Bishop Green getting the quick touch. Matthews with the take inside. Bishop Green, far corner, off the front. Rebound from Wilson. Greenlee using the left hand, takes it and 1.
Great energy there from Justin Greenlee. That's exactly what you want to see from your point guard, taking things into his own hands when they need to be and getting to the rim.
Justin Greenlee, a great take inside as the Cougars have struggled shooting all day. 20 of their 33 points in this game have come from the paint, and it's been those one-on-one opportunities off of a ball screen or off-ball movement that have allowed for the Cougars to get those chances. Greenlee completes the three-point play. CUC trailing by 8, 13:32 remaining. Bishop Green with the poke for the newly subbed in Trey Davis.
Cougars not letting up on defense. I think we're going to see this for the remainder of the game. A lot of hands in their pockets, not letting the Cardinals do anything easily here.
Cougars back in the zone. Three-pointer from Moncrief, way off target. Offensive board from Malloy. All alone on the far side was Davis. And it given right back to CUC. Jordan Matthews trying to take it one-on-one, and one! Didn't even see the basket on that layup attempt.
That's Jordan Matthews right there, ladies and gentlemen. He comes alive when he needs to, and that one-on-one situation is easy, easy, easy for him.
A timeout taken by the Cardinals. 4 turnovers in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds for the Cardinals. CUC still hanging around, only down by 6, and be a full timeout taken by North Central. We'll keep it here. And Kayla, big difference from the first half right now from CUC, and it's been sparked by defense.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it, defense. These consistent steals that the Cougars have been having and consistent stops on the defensive end, that's been shifting things for it. The offense will come when your defense is clicking, and the defense is clicking for the Cougars.
13 turnovers in the game for North Central, 8 of which have come in the second half. We talked about how it was a clean first half and the teams were being responsible and conservative with the ball. North Central taking its time offensively, and the defensive pressure that we've seen from CUC, whether it's been a full court press off an inbound or they're dropping into a zone and breaking it off as the shot clock winds down, CUC is really trying to get that defense going, and that offense is kind of started to come its way back. It's just a slow-moving freight train at this point.
Absolutely, and I think the Cougars have shifted the control of the game. I think in the first half, the Cardinals definitely controlled the Cougars, and the Cougars' defensive efforts are making the Cardinals speed up a little bit and making them uncomfortable in the end, and it's giving the Cougars the control that they've been needing to take back over.
Jordan Matthews misses the back end of the and one. So it'll remain a 6-point game. North Central without a field goal in the last 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Turning around as Malloy gives way to Helwig. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And able to get it off was Moncrief. Good movement from Moncrief to find his way on the baseline. Pick up the bucket.
Cardinals have done that a couple times tonight, right? At the end of the shot clock, they're able to find the rim and get that ball to go. Something that they can pride themselves on because it's been working so far.
Greenlee backing down Davis. Hatton, three-pointer, no good. Wilson with the rebound and put back. 14th offensive rebound for the Cougars in this game. And our referee timeout as Ken Thomas comes over to the North Central bench holding his knee. So he'll be walking his way over to the trainer as Tyler Swierczek will inbound the ball for North Central. Immediate pressure from Bishop Green, and he's called for the foul.
Bishop Green been handsy all game trying to pop that ball out. Unfortunately, just caught him with his body a little bit.
Other thing to look down the stretch already, both teams with 5 fouls, under 12 minutes to play in this second half. Very good chance we could see this becoming a free throw game in the final minutes of play. Both teams have been way more aggressive in this second half. And going all the way up and crashing down was Moncrief as the Cougars go to the other way. No foul called. And now a block called. Trey Davis getting called for the block. His first personal foul.
Cardinal bench a little unhappy about that call. I think that's their first attempted charge of the game. Unfortunate placement.
I wouldn't say either team's fan base has been happy with the officiating today, just because the amount of 50-50 calls and charges and blocks. With Jordan Matthews making his way inside. Beautiful move from Jordan Matthews. Finds himself with 6.
One thing about Jordan Matthews is that he's going to figure it out one way or another. If he's not shooting well, he's going to find his way to the rim. If he's not finding his way to the rim, he's going to shoot well. And right now we're seeing him come alive from inside the paint.
They'll need their leading scorer to step up down the stretch. Hellwig off the mark. And the putback no good from Schmolt. He was all alone. Almost a gimme at that point. Justin Greenlee had 3 jerseys around, kicks it away. Wilson hits it off his hand, back to the Cardinals.
Cardinal defense putting a lot of pressure on Greenlee there as he drove in. Greenlee was met with 3 different defenders that were poking that ball around, and unfortunately it just caused a turnover there.
Davis over to the top. Air ball 3-pointer from Swierczek.
Cougars starting their chip away at the lead, seeing this 4-point deficit, something that the Cougars really aren't afraid of. Lots of time on the clock to see this come back.
After going 4 for 11 from deep in the first half, the Cardinals 0 for 7 in the second half from behind the 3-point arc. And CUC, scoring on 4 of their last 5 trips, have come back and made this game only a 4-point deficit for them, but a foul is called on Bishop Green. His second personal foul, picked up in only a few minutes after his first.
Another notable difference from the first half to the second half is the Cougars have done a great job at shutting down Hellwig. Had 16 first half points and so far holding him just to 6.
And I'd say even to that, Hellwig shooting in the second half, 2 for 4. As Malloy able to get it in. Wilson trying the baseline. Partial block from Hellwig, and he stepped out of bounds. So a gift back of a possession for the Cougars. Ericus Gurkis checks in for North Central, replacing Swierczek. Greenlee and Hatton come out. As Watts and Collicott come back in.
Seeing the likes of Watts and Collicott coming back in, you're going to expect to see.
And one! How about that take from Joel Watts?
I was going to say, you're going to see a spark of energy, and that's exactly what happened there. Joel Watts has been doing it all second half, whether it's the steals, the fast breaks. He's giving that energy, and he did it again.
We'll talk about that. That was off an inbound, too. He had one-on-one on the wing, and just the patience from the guard, waiting for everybody else to clear out, and then made his move into the paint.
Absolutely, that's a great read. That's something that it's hard to teach that. You have that basketball IQ and that eye to see things, and I think that's exactly what Watts has there as he poked that one away again.
Bishop Green with the slam! The crowd is rocking inside a Geisman Gymnasium. What seemingly was a desert of energy has now become a power surge inside of Geisman as the fans are starting to rise to their feet.
Absolutely. I mean, the energy in Geisman is something that is unmatched, and you saw that right there off that dunk.
And I was talking to William Bishop Green before the game, catching up with them. And we were talking about how dunks are electrifying and everything, and he said, I got you. And he came out in the second half and was able to get the Cougars the first dunk of the game. What I love, too, is when it gets the fast break and everybody's around and everybody goes up as the ball goes down.
Absolutely. I mean, the unit of a team here, the Cougars really exemplify that. They do everything together, so everybody all in it. You could read that dunk from the moment that ball was tipped out, and the entire Cougar squad was a part of that.
Another important factor now, too. Both teams will be in the bonus from here on out. Both teams with 7 personal fouls after Emmanuel Wilson picked up the personal foul.
Looks
like referee talking with the scorer's table. making sure everything is situated in terms of fouls, shot clock, and game time.
The scoreboard situation here, we've had a couple issues throughout the season. The home +2 button sticks, so sometimes it adds 4 at a time, and it causes a little bit of an issue when coaches see 4 points added and then 2 taken away.
Three-pointer from Darian Williams, and we're all tied up in Geisman.
Cougars starting to figure it out after hitting no three-pointers in the first half, seeing a couple come alive in the second half, and eventually tying the game on it is exactly what you needed.
Block from Bishop Green. No foul call inside. The take from Hellwig. He's been keeping the Cardinals in this game now with 24. Matthews, spin around, taking it himself. Jordan Matthews with 8.
Geisman is on their feet once again. I think everybody in here is a Jordan Matthews fan club member as he gets things going even more for the Cougars here.
30 points in this half for the Cougars. They're shooting 52% from the field. Big difference from what the first half was. And another turnover from the Cardinals gives CUC a chance to regain the lead for the first time in this game since the 1937 mark of the first half.
Absolutely. Those turnovers that the Cougars are forcing has really given them that momentum. I mean, the Cardinals have 16 turnovers compared to the Cougars' 8, and those are things that we are seeing work really, really well in the Cougars' favor.
It was the 4th turnover of the game for Drew Gaston and the 11th of the half for North Central. Only man inside is Hatton. Now he backs out. 5 out for CUC. Matthews behind the back. Leading scorer right now, only second to Watts on the team. Williams with the pump fake, trying to get it inside for Collicott, and Collicott tapping his chest saying, my bad, he had the right idea and he just moved out of the way.
A little bit of a miscommunication there, but that's going to happen. Being able to recover from it is going to be the key here.
So the leading scorer for CUC, Joel Watts with 9, and the leading scorer right now for the Cardinals who's not on out on the court is Ethan Hellwig with 24. So a chance here for CUC to maybe get the advantage with the top player in this game on the bench cooling off. Three-pointer from Johnson, no good. That was the second attempt from deep from Johnson in this game. Williams using the left hand on the right side. Cougars on top, 52-50.
One thing about this Cougar squad is they are a team of momentum. Once they take that momentum with them, it's hard for their opponents to take it back, and we've seen the Cougars riding that momentum this entire second half, and I think taking the lead here, we're going to see what they can do with it.
Rebound from Matthews. Step back, Matthews. Rebound, Hatton. Puts it back up and 1. The grit from Brent Hatton on that putback.
The Cougar bench was electric on that one. The officials telling them to cool it down a little bit because, like I said earlier, if there's one thing this team does is they do it together.
Foul is called on number 4, Nick Smolt. That is Smolt's second. We start looking at some of the players right now for North Central, maybe nearing foul trouble. Brian Johnson has 4. Drew Gaston with 3. No player for CUC in foul trouble as of now. And a kick ball is called.
Cougars getting big, trying to break up those passes. We've seen a lot of steals so far, and they're going to continue to keep looking for it.
Cougar defense trying to funnel Moncrief over to the right side. Foul call on CUC on Jordan Matthews.
I think it was called on Darian Williams, actually.
Darian Williams. There we go. Correction made. One and one for Brian Johnson. Makes the first.
Johnson shooting about 50% on the season from the charity stripe, so not surprising to see him make his first one here.
Averaging 7 points per game this season. Making the second, has 4 tonight, and again, 0 for 7 from the field. But has 6 rebounds, 4 of which have been offensive, and have given new life to the Cardinals when it's been needed in this second half. CUC up by 2. No look pass from Hatton. The finish from Collicott. How about the vision from Hatton at the elbow?
Hatton got me on that one, actually. I was looking out on the wing for that ball to go out there, and instead a nice feed in for Collicott.
Only the 5th assist of the game for CUC. And a good take inside from Johnson. Nobody there to slow him down.
Cardinals knowing they got to step up their defense here to shut down the Cougars. You're hearing a lot of communication, not letting anybody play iso ball here.
Collicott, and one. The half of and ones for the Cougars. Which started out all the way on the left wing. Collicott threw that ball off the backboard.
I said it in the first half that if they weren't going to be making their shots at the rim, they at least needed to be drawing the fouls, and here in the second half, they're doing both.
Collicott making it a 3-point play. And CUC up by 5. It is the largest lead for the Cougars in this game. Again, the only time that they led up until only a few minutes ago was in the first half on the first bucket as Collicott misses the layup. He had Moncrief on his back. Jordan Matthews was there battling it out with Moncrief for possession. A jump ball as North Central will get it.
Looked like Collicott was checking his shoulder for a second there. Looked like he might have let up a little bit in an attempt to go for a dunk and then realized he had a defender on his back and to go for the layup.
Trying to draw some contact too. 4:40 to play in the game. CUC, after a disastrous first half, up by 5 over North Central.
Fast-paced Cougar defense seems to be frazzling the Cardinals a little bit.
Long three-pointer. Back iron from Hellwig. And a foul is called. Possession will stay with the Cardinals. Foul is called on Darian Williams. Replaced by William Bishop Green. And just kind of looking into a little bit more of this second half for North Central. If it hasn't been Ethan Hellwig that's been taking charge of this offense, it's been very hard for them to really get anything going. And Brian Johnson from the free throw line has been a big spark plug for them.
Absolutely. They call it a free throw line for a reason. Get those free points, and he's been taking advantage of it. And, hey, every point counts.
Matthews inside, Collicott on the baseline with 7. I don't know how he got around the defender there, but he was able to maneuver it in. Jacob Collicott now with 11.
Collicott's also come alive in the second half. 9 of his 11 points have come in the second half. He's been 4 for 7 from the field and a perfect 1 for 1 from the free throw line this half.
Collicott chasing it down, good hustle from the junior, trying to grab the loose ball. And I guess the other thing, too, if you're looking at the Cardinals right now, the last bucket that was made by Ethan Hellwig was a layup at the 8:22 mark of this game. And so North Central still trying to find a way to get it to their playmaker. I'm going to miss 3 from Johnson. Bounced off of Watts. So it'll be a fresh 20 on the shot clock and a new possession for North Central on the baseline.
Both teams have been relentless today. We've seen a lot of bodies being thrown, both for the Cougars and the Cardinals. Neither team afraid to dive after a ball and make those plays as we saw there, and North Central did a great job of bouncing that ball off of Watt's foot to keep the possession with them.
Cougars back in man-to-man defense. Moncrief trying to bounce it around for Hellwig. Foul is called on Justin Greenlee, his third. And still in this second half, North Central without a made three-pointer. 0 for 10 from behind the three-point arc. And there's Moncrief, now with 5 points.
Notable, though, in the second half, the Cardinals have been a perfect 11 for 11 from the free throw line, though. So, though they're not getting those shots from behind the three-point line, they're at least making them somewhere.
1 for 2 at the charity stripe. North Central from the free throw line, 17 of 20 in this game. Concordia 13 of 18. Matthews over to Greenlee. Bishop Green with the pump fake. Tried to go right side and lost it. 3-on-1. Kolikon with the swat. Huge block in transition for the Cougars. Matthews the other way. Gets stopped in the paint. And now a jump ball is called.
Collicott was watching that ball placement that entire trip down. He had his eyes on where that was going, and he was ready to time his jump perfectly, and he absolutely executed it.
Second block of the game for Jacob Collicott. Air traffic control for number 14 in white. Matthews with the step back, Jay. Matthews with 10. Six-point ball game.
Cardinals congesting the right side of the floor, leaving the left side open here.
Hellwig bouncing around the defenders, able to get it up before Collicott went in airborne. That timeout is taken by Coach Kamick. 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. An unlikely scenario where the Cougars right now find themselves up 4 after what is probably one of their worst halves of the year all around, not just in terms of scoring. Have come alive in this second half, shooting 58% from the field. Finally, we're able to get their first three-pointer of this game, coming in the 15-minute mark from Elijah White. But just the defense has been such a difference in this game for the Cougars, the amount of turnovers they've been forcing. And also, too, the steals. That's been such a big thing, and enough credit has not been given to number 55, Joel Watts, for what he's done in this game.
Absolutely, and you said it, points off turnovers. The Cougars in the second half alone have 15 points off of those turnovers compared to the Cardinals too, and a lot of those points came at the hands of Joel Watts.
Full court pressure applied by the Cardinals. Matthews to Bishop Green, almost put on a Sports Center highlight alley-oop. Drew it up in the timeout. Bishop Green wish he had that one back. Cardinals Have to be smart with this possession.
Cardinals spacing the floor really well, seeing a lot of off-ball movement, trying to draw the Cougar defenders and tire them out in this shot clock.
Missed three-pointer from the Cardinals. Number four, Nick Schmolt with the shot. 0 for 9 in this game shooting. Hasn't been the best performance for Schmolt this afternoon and evening. Averaging 9 points a game. Jordan Matthews slowly bringing it up. Cardinals need a stop on this possession. Calling con inside for Matthews, turns baseline, gets blocked under by the backboard. Foul called on Greenlee. Pump fake from Sean Malloy, got him going in the air.
Talking about some notable differences here for the Cardinals. Cardinals' last matchup against Hope College, Swierczak was their leading scorer with 15 points, and he's seeing a 0 on his scorecard tonight. So something that the Cardinals have been adjusting to find a new scorer tonight, and we've seen it in Hellwig, but not having a 15-point score here makes a difference.
And Hellwig is one of the only players on the team that has double-digit points on this season and playing 33 minutes in this game as well. 10 of 18 shooting. Next closest player is number 11, Drew Gaston, with 9 points in this game. Malloy is 77 3-point free throw shooter, I should say, on the season. Able to make both. Cut it down to a one-possession game. Pressure applied from the Cardinals.
Cougars keeping the floor pretty even here. 4 out, 1 in.
Trying to take a good shot. 7 seconds on the clock. Joel Watt gets it taken away by Nick Schmolt, who gets fouled in transition and will head to the free throw line for 2 free throws.
If you're the Cougars, that's one of the worst case scenarios that you're seeing there in terms of an unnecessary turnover and then a foul, something that they had complete control of, but still enough time to see things head back the other direction.
An empty possession and a great takeaway from Nick Schmolt. The second steal for number 4 in the game. We've talked so much about how CUC has been the ones to pickpocket the Cardinals today, but a timely steal from the Cardinals leads to 2 free throws and a tied ball game. There's a timeout taken by Justin Greenlee and the Cougars with 24.9 seconds left in the game. A full timeout taken by the Cougars. Will step aside for a quick break. Stick around, it's getting exciting inside Geisman on the Cougars Sports Network.
Yo, Cougar Nation, we love the support you give us on and off the court.
To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank button. This helps us continue to have the best live stream possible for some great Cougar basketball moments like the ones you're watching now.
Thank you. Enjoy the game.
Go Cougs!
Welcome back inside Geisman Gymnasium. It is a thriller. The final game for the Cougars before Christmas. And in a second half that has really turned things around for CUC. 43 points so far in this second half, and all tied up thanks to the Cardinals' 6-point scoring run over the last minute, 39 seconds.
If you're the Cardinals right here, you're doing anything you can to stop the Cougars from scoring. If you're the Cougars, all you're looking to do is put that ball in the hoop and then play defense for the difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
1 second separating the two. Justin Greenlee, Brent Hatton in the corner. Contested three-pointer, hits it! Brent Hatton with the biggest shot of the season for the Cougars. Cardinals going the other way. They try a three-pointer, and it's no good.
Talk about a finish, Brent Hatton. Let's talk about that for a second. Hasn't hit a three-pointer all night. He was 0 for 4, and then he comes in the moment that you need it the most, and he hits it, and you can see his team is ecstatic about that as well.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night inside a Geisman Gymnasium as Brent Hatton is the hero of tonight's game. As Kayla said, the only three-pointer he made, but it was the biggest one. And the Cougars come out on top, 66-63 over the North Central Cardinals. What a way to send us into Christmas. Cougars improved to 5-6 on the season. The Cardinals dropped to 3-9. What an ending to this game.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at the final score here, Cougars 66, that is still their lowest scoring game of the season. And we said it earlier that it wasn't their best offensive production performance of the season, but at the end of the day, all that matters is at the final, you hit that shot, and that's exactly what Brent Hatton did.
Big time game for the Cougars. It's all about grit and resiliency, and we'll be able to hear that from head coach Rashawn Searles in just a moment after the team breaks out of the huddle at the center court. Breaking down the game just a little bit more, CUC leading scorer Jacob Collicott with 11 points. Ethan Hellwig, how about a performance for him? 26 points, 10 of 18 shooting, 3 of 8 from deep with 14 rebounds, a big-time double-double. He's the reason why this game was close.
Absolutely. I mean, Hellwig, he set a new season high for himself, scoring 26 points. So something that you've got to be proud of as the Cardinals coach, because as you said, that's what kept you in this game.
Big-time game for CUC. As we get ready for our post-game interview for CUC, and from the coach, assistant coach Jimmy Fields will join us in just a moment. Stick around for a post-game interview inside of Geisman. Well, that's a way to send the Cougars into the Christmas holiday. How about a big-time shot from Brent Hatton as the Cougars prevail over the North Central Cardinals by a score of 66-63. I'm joined by assistant coach Jimmy Fields breaking down that game. Coach, that was a rough first half shooting-wise, 0 for 16 from behind the three-point arc. It was the lowest scoring half, and you guys were trailing by 14. What was the message to the guys in the locker room?
Keep our confidence high, make sure that we're going out there and taking the shots that we practice, and that it's a team effort. Make sure we get on the glass, offensive rebounds, tip deflection steals from a defensive standpoint, and have defense turn into offense.
Talked about those steals. You had 9 in that second half, 12 in the game. Really coming out of the locker room, North Central was stumped. There was obviously a visible difference between their offensive gameplay. Can you talk about Joel Watts and Jordan Matthews and their defensive efforts that they made that translated to offense?
Absolutely. Those guys are leaders for us on and off the floor. We really talked about getting up and pressuring the basketball and trying to make good things happen. We know that Zero had a really good first half, so we were trying to limit his possessions, his touches, and ultimately our energy and focus got the job done.
We'll talk about the man of the hour with the biggest shot so far this season. Brent Hatton didn't make a 3 all game. Right. But you talk about a veteran, a leader on this team, a guy that's been around, has been playing since a freshman, has the experience, the guts for Brent Hatton to take that shot. Talk about the kid and what that meant to the team after a big fought battle.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just a winner from the jump. He's just a great senior leader. We practice that shot a lot in shoot around, just getting him open looks. And I mean, he's such a selfish guy, and he stepped up and made a huge shot for us in a timely Christmas fashion.
There you go. Cougars get a big-time Christmas gift. It was a three-pointer from Brent Hatton, and the Cougars win 66-63 over the North Central Cardinals. Once again, thanks, Jimmy Fields, for joining me. Congratulations on the win.
Pleasure.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
For
Go
everybody
Cougars.
here inside of Geisman Gymnasium, our producer, Sydney Lloyd, and our directors, Kayla McLeod and Sydney Palacios-Lawher, I'm Carter Gledhill saying so long, Merry Christmas, and as always, go Cougars.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.